Welcome to We Geek Podcast. Today is March 25th, 2021. My name is Adam, and as always, joined by my good friend Logan.
Hello.
Hey, man, so how have you been, dude?
It's still March, so
Still March. Yeah.
how is it? What was the thing I saw? Somebody said somebody will have to explain to me how March is almost over, but it was March. It's been March for 10 years, and also it was 1990, 10 years ago, and I
Yeah.
I felt that in my soul. Like I really, really did.
It is shocking. Time is so weird. Yeah, man, it's definitely this year's felt like Groundhog's Day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah, dude. So what have you been up to, man?
Work and a lot more Persona 5 Strikers. I've
Oh,
really been digging into it.
I'm glad you have. I didn't play any this week, but I want to hear it from you. I like
It's
went in the opposite direction. I read some comics and shit, but yeah, I
nice.
want to hear about it, dude.
It's just I'm digging it. I love it.
Oh, good.
It's it's but because I talked a lot about it. I think last week, but
Yes.
how it's not just a reskin Dynasty Warriors game, which would have been
Mhm.
fine. Like I was
Yeah.
totally down with that, but they said no, we're gonna have a Persona game, and then the combat is just gonna be Dynasty Warriors. It's like, oh damn, so it's like still full. You still get that like full story immersion kind of experience and everything. They didn't sacrifice any of that.
Right.
But yeah, I've got a buddy of mine who helped me move when I did all this mess. I pulled a U, and it was like, well, what do I get him? I know what I can get him: Persona 5 Royal. And
There you go.
so he just got his PS5 the other day, finally,
Oh,
and it was the first
how
thing
do you
he
get
booted
it?
up. He got it through Best Buy, I think.
Damn, dude, I've been hunting for one for my little brother for the last week or two.
Yeah.
I've been following Wario 64. I even
Yep.
follow this new guy on YouTube. Like his whole channel is about this stuff. I've turned his tweets on, so like I'll wake up at like 5 a.m. And it'll be like, I don't know, some random game, you know,
Yep.
I don't know, Mario Tennis is on sale for $5 or something. But uh, every once in a while, and I like, thankfully, my brother, he's given me all of his information, the card, I have his address, and I've like signed into all these websites for him, so I can just go. And this morning, it was like 7 a.m. I saw it. I jumped up. I grabbed it. I was there, and then at the very end, it's like, "What's your PIN number for the card?" And I'm like, "What? God damn!" I called my little brother. Of course, he's passed out. He's sleeping.
Sure.
I'm like, "All right, Kyle. I'm gonna need to know the PIN number." So, but yeah. So I've been desperately trying to get him one because it's so hard. Uh, you know, I. So yeah. So I'm curious. Did he just get it from the website?
Yeah.
Did he follow the Wario guy?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we'll get it soon. But yeah, I feel like every day it's Walmart, Best Buy, Target. One of them will go up for sale for 2 seconds. Same with Sony. We've gotten close. We get it. We get in the queue. It's like you have over an hour. You have 45 minutes, 30 minutes, 15 minutes, and then it will say all PlayStations are sold for the day. I'm like, oh god, I don't want to buy Miles Morales for him. I want to buy the system.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, well, that's cool, dude. So how is he enjoying Persona?
He's really digging it. Hasn't gotten
Yeah,
too far yet because it's especially at the beginning, like it's a bit of a grind to get
right.
going. But
It's like 8 hours to like, oh, I've got
right,
some tutorial.
and here's the thing that's fun about him. He never gives a shit about spoilers. Like he
Okay.
doesn't care. It's like, no, come on, just go ahead and talk to him. Whatever. It's stuff that makes him sound interested. But I'm always, like I'm the opposite. So I don't even want to talk spoilers, even if it's something like I've seen. Like I haven't talked to him about Justice League yet, even though I know he doesn't care about spoilers. I
Hmm.
still am just like, nah, you need to see it before we talk. But
Yeah.
I started talking to him about Royal, and I was like, how far did you get? And he's, he's next to nowhere, as you would
Yeah.
be.
Right.
But that I was wondering what more, like what more am I going to talk to him about? Because he's asked a couple of things, and I was like, I can't really answer that without being spoilery, but he doesn't care about spoilers. But he kind of unintentionally cut me off about it because he was talking about a streamer he follows, and he's like, and they started talking about one of these characters, and I cut it off. I was like, nope, don't want to know. I was like, oh shit, okay, so he actually doesn't want any of this spoiled for him. Okay,
Oh, okay.
I'm
There
down.
you go.
Like that's different for him. It's very much
Mhm.
just a like he's it's like he doesn't want spoilers for the Final Fantasy VII remake. Like for when Part 2 comes out.
Yeah.
And Kingdom Hearts, and that's about it. Because it's like
Yeah.
it's just the stuff that like he's really really invested in the story with. The rest
Right.
like everything else, he doesn't give a damn, and that's fair. That's everybody has their own way of looking at things. I'm a no spoilers guy. Like I don't want to know anything, but
Same here.
but yeah, it's like I would talk to him about the Mandalorian. He's like, yeah, I haven't seen it yet. I'll get around to it, but go ahead and talk about it. It sounds really good. I was like, man, I don't like spoiling things. Even if
Right.
somebody's like, no, I don't care. Like, just go ahead. It's perfectly fine. I'm like, I still like it. Just
Yeah.
there's that part of me where I'm just like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm the same way, dude. I'm
Yeah.
right there with you. Yeah, I don't want anything spoiled ever.
But
Yeah.
but yeah, I've been doing that. Trying to think of anything else I've been doing, and I'm kind of coming up blank. Nah, that's between that and work. I mean, that's about it. God, we North Carolina just moved to 50% capacity for movie theaters starting Friday, and
Oh.
which great, yay business, yay movies. But I was looking at our pre-sales next week for Godzilla versus Kong, and we've got we were already at capacity for stuff next week, and I'm just like, oh my,
Really?
yeah, it's selling. Godzilla vs Kong is selling like crazy. We've
That's
had people come
good.
in. Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I both love it and hate it because I have
I
to
was
work it.
afraid.
But
Yeah, I was afraid you were going to say the opposite. I'm like, oh,
no,
I don't want to hear that no one's going.
no, we've had people for the past couple weeks. Like we've had phone calls. We've had people come in. Hey, when is Godzilla vs Kong coming out? When can I buy tickets? Where can I buy tickets?
How long is it going to be in theater?
Shit, I don't know, man.
This
We
is
only
one of
we
the.
like
Go ahead.
we only just lost Crudes, which came out on Thanksgiving. So
Okay.
like I mean that's been 4 months.
I want to see that in the Dolby Theater near me. I think that will be the first movie I go back and see.
Yeah,
It just depends. I get my second shot in a couple weeks, and I don't know if it will still be. I guess I can check, of course, the calendar.
yeah. Because I'm thinking Cruella might go in there. That's in May though. It's gonna be in there for at least a couple weeks because I can't think of anything in April that's gonna stop it. Like what's gonna cut it off.
Yeah.
I don't know because I imagine, like
Okay, it's still yeah. Godzilla vs King Kong will still be in the Dolby and here in AMC. So good.
there you go.
I will be seeing that.
Yeah. Because I know like nobody only gets like 5 days in some of the premium formats because Godzilla comes out on Wednesday, which is fucking
Gotcha.
weird. But I'm excited, and it's great because we have people come in and it's like, hey, they're like, when can I buy tickets for this? And we tell them and we'll sell them tickets, and they're like, I've got HBO Max, but I mean, I really want to see this in a theater, and I'm like, that's hallelujah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And Tom and Jerry sells out. We'll pack a house for Tom and Jerry. And we sold the other thing that did really well, the Little Things. And it's cracked me up that like our best movies have been stuff that's also been on HBO Max. And it's like people are still coming out. So I don't know if this strategy is really working out for them or not. But
yeah. Well, hey, if people are still going to the theater, that's a win-win for the studio, for for everybody, for
Yeah.
the theater. That I think they would prefer people to spend the money on the tickets because that's way more, you know. Yeah. So let's see here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So it looks like it's gonna be in around me. So I think that would be the first movie that I actually am able to go see in the theater. So I am excited.
Yeah, and the reviews that have come out have been good. I haven't like read them, but I'll skim
Mhm.
basically just like what are the scores and this and that.
Yeah.
And it's encouraging for me because
Hmm.
I loved King of the Monsters. I really
Yeah.
enjoyed it. Critics did not.
Yeah.
But they're really digging Godzilla vs Kong. I was like, oh well,
Hmm.
that's a good sign.
Yes. I'm gonna get my ticket right now, so I have no excuse. There we go.
There you
One
go.
adult. Perfect.
One, one,
Oh,
one adult in quotes. Let's be honest.
right.
For movies like this, we're all kids going in here looking at these things,
Absolutely.
no doubt.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that's coming out. And when we get into the news, we'll talk about the stuff that shifted. Disney decided to upend their entire fucking calendar again.
Oh yeah. Oh, they
But
have really cool Wonder Woman tins.
those things are neat, man. They
Yeah, that
are
looks awesome.
really cool. Some of the tins are meh.
Yeah.
But those are really neat. It's like they were. It's the way it's done. It almost seems like they did the colorful design of it first, like the tie dye design, like as a
Yeah.
base layer, and then they covered it in whatever
Gold.
kind of like not gold ish color
Right.
that looks like, and then etched out the
Yeah.
logo and stuff. So it's like the gold coating around it, and then where the logo is and stuff, it's cut out, so it's got all the color and stuff in it. They're really really neat.
That looks neat.
Yeah.
Hmm. Cool. Well, I got my plans for that weekend.
There you go. All set.
Oh, yeah, that was one of the big ones. I mean, when I started seeing the movies that HBO was going to get, I was like, damn, like I want to see King Kong versus Godzilla in the theater. I want to see Mortal Kombat in the theater. I want to see especially Doom in the theater. There's some big blockbusters, and those are just the Warner Brother movies, right?
Yeah.
Like when I saw the list of those, I'm like, it's a shame that these are. It's great for people, obviously, during a pandemic that they can see it in the the comfort of their own home. And then there's some news later today. We'll talk about some other movies that are going to be hitting the same day service where you have to pay money for. But hey, I'd rather people have options
Yeah.
if they don't feel safe, right? So it's a win-win for everybody. And for some people, I mean, if you go to the theater with two people, you are spending more than $30. There's no
Yes.
way getting out of that unless maybe like you live in an area where you can catch a matinee for $5, and for some reason the popcorn and everything's discounted as well. You maybe get away with that, but it's probably right around the same price. But yeah, so anyway, so I'm really excited. I can't wait to get back to the theater. That was one of the. I mean, there's been a ton of shitty things that happened during this pandemic, obviously, but this industry was one of the ones that were really affected, right? And so a lot of people lost their jobs or got their hours cut, and like I'm glad to see the theater coming back, and like you said, being uh, almost at max a week out, so that's a good sign. That's really good.
Yeah.
Sorry, you're gonna have to bust your ass next week, but it's a good sign for sure.
I mean, yeah, like I'll take it.
Yeah.
My joy at seeing movies make a comeback outweighs my dread of what's coming.
Yes. Yeah. So man, what a way to bring back movies. I think King Godzilla vs King Kong will be the one that
Yeah.
people remember. Like that's when the theaters came back.
Yeah, and it really does look that way. Like it's not
Yeah.
just like we're not just crossing our fingers and hoping. No, we have there are the pre-sales to back it up.
Yes.
Like
Awesome.
I will guarantee if you went on that website now and looked at whatever like the premiere day, like that Wednesday, Thursday, Friday next week,
Hmm.
showtimes, especially in like the Dolby and IMAX and all those kind of formats, I guarantee you they're going to be damn near sold out for at
Yeah.
least one or two of the shows. We had to add another show because you can't end the day on a sellout in your premium formats.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to add another show. It's why we had a 2 a.m. end game, and I had to work overnight. Like that was
Oh wow.
God. Because we had
Well,
like a
this
10
is.
o'clock or whatever it was.
I just got a ticket for 4 weeks out at a premiere seating, and then
Yep.
there was a ton of seats already picked. So
Yep.
I mean, this is I'm not in Orlando necessarily, but I'm outside of it, and that's 3 or 4 weeks out.
Yep.
That's big. So I imagine closer to, especially release day, is probably full. So
Yeah. So
man, I gotta get that 10. I'm sitting here in the checkout thinking I'm gonna select. I'm getting it.
you can do that. Like if your
Yeah.
theater is one that does the mobile ordering, you can go ahead and do that.
Yep. This
And
is awesome.
it's fun. The mobile ordering is actually really really convenient. We just started doing that when the lockdown ended, and it's one of
Mhm.
those things where we're like, oh great, it's something new. This is going to be terrible. It's not going to work. It's going to be buggy. The things that happen at any job when you roll out a new something.
Yeah.
Because our location hadn't been doing that. It had been a
Yeah.
thing for a while, but it hadn't been with us. But it's actually really helpful. They pop up, we make them,
Mhm.
we put them in the warmer, and then as somebody comes up, hey, I'm so and so, I had this order. Yep, here you go, enjoy your movie. Like it's
Nice.
actually really really helpful.
Awesome. Hell yeah. Yeah. This is. I'm excited.
And I'm stoked. Like this, it's gonna be a fantastic movie. I'm very excited,
Mhm.
and this is going to be when theaters start coming back again.
Yeah.
It's because I mean the numbers are there. It's
Yeah.
like hey look, and I mean there's an argument to be made that it happened when Tom and Jerry came out because I mean we were
Oh, that's
selling
true.
out Tom and Jerry, like
That's
it
true.
was frightening, because children, but
Yes.
like it was yeah, kids. Not,
Yeah.
the more I clean up after kids movies, the more pro-choice I get. But
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, like uh, oh, oh, but
Yeah.
it's it'd be like that sometimes.
Yeah. Cool, dude. Um, yeah, so this last week or two, we'll talk about Snyder Cut. That took up most of the week. No, I'm just kidding. But
You're not
watch,
wrong.
yeah, watch that. We'll talk about that later. What else did I do? Kind of nerdy wise. Played a lot of Warcraft. I am just head deep into it now. Like I am over the shoulders. you know,
Nice.
uh, I, I don't want to bore everybody, but like I'm, like we're I don't know, me and my friends just completely head first into it again, and I don't know, just done a ton of shit into it, about ready to raid, so that's fun. I fixed my Raspberry Pi. It's been sitting in my closet for the longest time because one of the where you plug in the control of the USB port broke, and I thought, oh well, it's just been sitting in there ever since, and I fixed it. I ended up plugging it in, and loaded it full with games and whatnot, and so it's been fun. I got one of these 8-bit Duo controllers, which is like a Super Nintendo controller, but it also has the analog sticks if I wanted to play a Nintendo 64 game or anything that has the analog.
Right.
PlayStation games. The Raspberry Pi that I have can play up to PlayStation 1. But because of the size, it can only hold 32 gigabytes. I have it just chocked full of Super Nintendo games, Sega games, and I should say, on the record, these are all games I own. So I'm only emulating games that I've purchased. But yeah, so you can put it full of anything you want. And I've been having fun going through that, playing some classics, like Terminator versus what was it? Terminator
RoboCop.
versus RoboCop. Yes.
Whew.
Ren and Stimpy. There are so dude, it is there are so many games. And I was looking through the list of games that you can get. It's just ridiculous. Like it is so there's so many games that I've never heard of or that I completely forgot about. Um, a lot of side scrollers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's what kind of got me into it. Is we saw that trailer. What was it, a couple weeks ago?
Yeah.
and it was and it was the new TMNT game, and it pretty much looked like Turtles in Time, right?
Yeah.
And I picked up the IDW series. I went and played the old, and that's what made me do this. I was like, oh, I really want to play Turtles in Time, so I booted that up, and it was just as good as I remember. And there were some older. I'm trying to think of the one that stood out as being just like bizarre. It was a oh god, it was a strategy. Okay, so it was called Liberty or Death.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was a game. Hold on a second. Where it's like a strategy game, and you can pick the United States or England, and it's I can't explain it. It is, like George Washington. He has 97 leadership points, reputation 80, tactics 58, discipline 98, and it's just like it reminded me of sort of like Risk, where you have all these different just sections of the country. I don't know because I'm not familiar with the counties in that area, but it almost looked like that's how it was broken up in. And you had to assign senators and all this stuff. It bizarre.
Fair.
So, but anyway, I've been having a ton of fun with that. And again, these are a lot of these games you just can't get anymore. The company doesn't sell them, so thankfully there's people preserving them. Especially games like that, which like you can't purchase anywhere. They don't make it available. So anyway, I've been having a lot of fun with that. So, but that's about it. I don't think I've watched anything really outside of the Snyderverse. I want to watch Cherry. I know that's on the Apple services. I heard that's interesting.
Yeah.
But have you seen Cherry?
I haven't yet, no, but
Okay.
it looks neat.
Yeah.
I haven't really
I've
heard a ton about it, but it does look good.
I haven't seen a trailer. I don't. All I know that it was about a war vet that comes home, and of course they shove painkillers to him instead of, you know, other more responsible things. They're just
Right.
like, oh, here, have painkillers. So it's about his struggles with that. Um, but I heard it's good, so I wanted to check it out.
Good.
Um,
If you want a trailer to watch, I
okay,
there's a movie that comes out this week. It's an animated movie. It's
okay,
called Mystery of the Kingdom of God. It's an animated Christian movie, and most Christian movies follow the same kind of basic formula. Somebody usually it's like they had a good life, something happens, they need Jesus, they find Jesus, they're happy. The end. Cool. It's kind of like Hallmark movies. They follow a similar kind of like, oh, this person is successful, but they're missing something. It's love. They don't want love. They find love. They're happy. The end. They follow a very specific formula, and it works for them. It's fine. But this one in particular looks so bad. I
okay.
cannot. I. There are a million plus words in the English language, and I cannot string enough of them together in a sentence to explain just how terrible this looks. Uh,
I'm
it's
watching it right now. It looks like he picks up a PlayStation controller and he meets God or
it's
Jesus or
you need it with sound
okay.
because the director is the only person credited on any part of this movie, and it really does seem like he wrote, directed, and voiced everything in the exact same tone.
Oh wow.
Oh, it's bad.
Yeah,
It's
I mean I've seen Newground animation that's better than this.
yes, and that's terrifying. But
Right.
this is awful, and I'm
Okay.
not hating on it because it's a Christian movie. I don't care. There's some
Right,
genuinely
right,
good
right.
ones out there. This is just I'm hating on this because this is a bad movie. This made me want to call Birdemic and apologize. That's how
Oh,
bad
okay.
this movie is,
Yeah.
and oh man, it's one of those where it's like you want to watch it for the sheer mystery science theater value that you and your
Mhm.
friends would have doing it, but you would also feel like you need to be drunk or stoned to watch this. Like I don't think I don't know if I could actually just like sit down and watch this movie and not go crazy. It's
Oh,
that
okay.
it looks that bad.
Oh, okay.
It's it's awful. Yeah, you
Yeah,
need.
I'll check it out with sound later.
Yeah, you have to
Um,
because the voice acting sells it because it is all it's all the same voice, every one of
mhm.
them, um, except for except for characters of color, which are done clearly with the same voice but with stereotypical accents. They're
Oh,
they borderline on racist. Um,
damn.
and also no, like you also can hardly understand what any of the characters are saying. It's just bad voice act. It's so bad. But the animation looks bad. The way this thing was shot, like the this is somebody who was like camera work doesn't matter for an
Hmm.
animated movie.
I mean, even South Park has black actors for their characters.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
ridiculous.
it's this is like and again, I'm going by the information that is available, which is there is a director who is also the only credited cast member, and that's it. Those are all the credits I could find for this thing. And
Jesus.
it's but yeah, watch it later on. Make sure you have the sound on.
Mm,
It's awful. It's
damn.
so bad.
Yeah, I'll check it out with the sound. Speaking of trailers, this kind of ties into what I was the Cherry movie because it was just a conversation me and my buddy were having, and it was the same thing like Cherry's about he's given painkillers and stuff like that. Have you seen the trailer called Four Good Days with Mila Kunis and Glenn Close?
No, but I've been hearing about this.
The trailer looks amazing. And it's the same kind of realm of that Cherry movie where Mila is addicted to painkillers, and it's basically her struggle. And they're told basically the trailer set up that they're telling her, "Hey, we have a drug that we can give you that will make you immune to the feelings of painkillers or something like that. You won't feel that effect anymore." But you have to be sober for 4 more days in order for us to give it to you. And I think the movie is just that hell for her for that many days. And you get through like most of the trailer, and she's like, "How long has it been?" And she's like, "It's been 1 day." So like, it looks good. The thing is that they sent it on this like it almost looks like it's one of those like I'm sure this is it looks like one of the movies that's gonna go straight to VOD kind of deal,
Right.
but it, it when you're looking at the acting, you're looking at the talent. It looks good. Like, and you feel her struggle just in a trailer. You're like, oh my god, like that must be fucking hell that she's going through, and it
Yeah.
it truly shows. So, yeah. So that was another one that I was like, damn, I want to see that. Um, but yeah, I figured since you're at the theater and all, I didn't know if it would something they would show ahead of a movie or whatnot.
Yeah,
But
I haven't seen that trailer yet, but like I said, I heard
yeah.
somebody was talking to me about it yesterday, day before
Mhm.
maybe. No,
Uh,
would have been Monday, I think.
yeah.
But yeah, I was just hearing about that.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had family members that struggled with that, and I can't imagine. And seeing that trailer is like, good lord, like the acting put into this
Yeah.
is just superb. So, but yeah, so I definitely want to check that out. I think that comes out sometime this year. So, but yeah, I'll check out Mystery of the Kingdom of God.
It's
It's
just
no Veggie Tales.
no. Like I would have like I understood. Like I had no
Right.
interest in something like Veggie Tales or most
Hmm.
I want to say overtly Christian movies where it's like
Just
no, this isn't
religious
a
movies in general, I'm not a fan of.
right. It's it's just
Uh,
think of like they have their audience and that's fine.
right.
They like I
Right.
said they follow a formula.
Hmm.
They're crazy predictable, and it's like, and fine. If that's your thing, go for it. I'm not hating on that.
Yeah.
Oh my god, this thing just looks awful.
Yeah.
It just looks terrible. There's no. This
Hmm.
isn't coming from any kind of bias or anything. It really does just look horrible.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Like, obviously, I get what the idea of the movie is,
Hmm.
but the execution just makes it look like what is going on here.
Right.
It's
Right.
oh god, and it's just so bad. The fact that the voice acting is so bad is terrible.
I take that back. I'm a big fan of Coco. It's a great movie. That's a really good movie. um, but yeah,
But
I'll check that out.
yeah, it's give it, if you've got 2 minutes or whatever it is, give it a whirl. It's something. It's really something.
Nice. Nice. All right, dude. Well, we should probably get into it.
Yeah. We had Disney came out and said, "Hey, we're gonna delay everything again." And I'm guessing the whole premiere access on Disney Plus experiment is working.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
they announced new release dates for Black Widow and Cruella, which are both going to be day and date theater and Disney Plus with premiere access. So that's the pay the extra $30 to watch this movie.
Okay.
Cruella is officially May 28th, and Black Widow got moved to July 9th. They moved Black Widow, what's that, 2 months?
Okay. Hopefully the final move.
I think so, because I think they're looking at this and seeing, vaccine rollout and,
Yes.
restrictions being lifted and saying, you know what, Cruella can take the hit.
Yeah.
But hopefully into July we'll have, more people vaccinated and we'll start to be actually getting back to quote unquote normal, whatever the hell that's going to be.
Yeah. I think recently was it Biden that came out and said that hopefully by
the 4th, by July 4th.
Yeah. Yep. Most people should have their first shot. So, yeah, hopefully by this summertime, that everyone would at least have a chance to get a shot if they want it, so that they can have we have a shot of getting back to normal.
Yeah.
Or as close as we can get. I hope the masks still stay on. Obviously, it wouldn't be enforced or anything, but I hope that we take the lesson of a lot of countries like overseas where they've been doing it long before us, especially getting on planes and stuff like that. I know I'm never going to get on a plane again without a mask, that kind of deal. But yeah, no, I hope by that time you should feel more comfortable going into the theater, buying some popcorn, laughing, having fun, being around people at a distance. But it'll be fun, going to a barbecue and stuff like that. Again, I can't wait.
Yeah.
Cannot wait. But yeah, I think this is great that it's coming to the service as well. $30. My only beef with it is that you're already paying it's not like Amazon where you buy a $30 movie, but you're not paying a subscription to. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It sucks that you have the subscription. Now, what happens when you lose the subscription? Can you still watch the movie?
No.
See, that sucks. That's terrible. I think if you pay the $30, even if you don't have Disney service, it should just be like, oh, you bought these movies, here you go. You can still play them. That's my only beef with that. But $30 is not a bad price to watch a movie early, and then whenever you want to, moving forward, as long as you have a subscription.
Yeah.
Especially when they're bigger movies like that, that's completely justified. Like we were talking earlier, you can't really take a date to a theater and spend less than $30. That's some trickery, So, yeah, I think I just bought those tickets that I just purchased with 30% off because I got it for like the middle of the day, and the tickets were $15. So I can't imagine. Especially if I brought a date to even think about leaving the theater, you couldn't do it with just $30. So
yep,
that's great. Especially if you have a family, you got like 3 kids or something. This is perfect. Order a pizza.
Exactly. Like if you're a family of 4 and you come to see a Disney movie, especially something big first week out, and you have slightly older kids who are gonna understand the difference between a Dolby or an IMAX and a regular theater, not on a like technical level, but just in the sense of appreciating, because when you're a tiny little thing, you don't understand, like it's just big, like that's it. But a little bit of the 6, 7, probably, I don't know. It's been a long time since I was that small, But, you know, if you're going to come to a premium format theater and those tickets are, 15 for adults and, 11, 12 for kids.
Yeah.
If you're 2 and 2, you're spending, what's that, $54 just on the tickets?
Yep.
Like, for your money, if that's what you're worried about on a budget, stay home, have microwave popcorn, order a pizza, get whatever food you would like. That is absolutely an option, and it's not a terrible thing. People say, "Oh, well, you're renting it for $30." I'm like, yes, but you can, like we've talked about on here before. You can sit there and it repeats forever, so the kids can stay occupied.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So that's good. That's perfect. That's a definitely reasonable price. I saw a lot of comparisons with like HBO Max and stuff like that, and like I think people forget how upset the directors and everyone involved were that they just put it out there with no extra cost, nothing.
And no warning, and no discussion.
No discussion, exactly. No warning, nothing. Just, it was like and don't get me wrong, we are consumers. We're happy they did that, but we can also understand how that could be very damaging to the theaters, to everyone involved. It's not going to encourage these theaters to make these companies to make these billion-dollar movies right anymore. You're not going to want to make a giant movie like Dune if you're not going to have people going to the theater to see it. So I think this is a good compromise. This is, of course, Disney being able to actually make money off of these giant blockbuster movies because, again, I love my Marvel movies. I love how big they are. I don't want them. I do want smaller ones, but at the same time, I would like to see another Endgame at some point.
Yeah.
And so I think that's a perfect compromise. I will absolutely be seeing this in the theater. I can't wait. I have some theories about Black Widow that are probably all false.
Yeah, I think we've talked about them a good bit.
Yeah, I can't wait, dude. Scarlett Johansson. I don't know. Her character's really grown on me in the series, especially rewatching it, and her arc. I have a feeling it's not done, and what that means moving forward with her, even if it was the end of it, okay. But man, I've got some ideas. So anyway, I'm excited to see that in the theater, and some other ones, dude. Like I forgot that Shang-Chi. I thought that was next year. And it's this year, and it's close. It's September 3rd.
Yeah, and because we're getting
a trailer soon, right?
Yeah, we should. We'll probably get one with Black Widow, I imagine.
Gotta be closer than that. That's July.
Yeah, but I think I'm okay with them waiting until July to do it.
Dude, I can't wait to. I want to see a trailer for Shang-Chi.
Yeah, and it's crazy because we're getting 4 Marvel movies this year. We had none last year. We've got Black Widow July 9th, Shang-Chi September 3rd, Eternals November 5th, Spider-Man No Way Home December 17th.
Dude,
yeah,
we are being slapped in the face with Marvel movies. I love it.
And 4 next year. Doctor Strange 2 March 25th, Thor Love and Thunder May 6th, Black Panther 2 July 8th, Captain Marvel 2 November 11th.
Oh, wait, so give me the next year again?
Doctor Strange 2, Thor Love and Thunder, Black Panther 2, and Captain Marvel 2.
Do you think Black Panther would be ready? Because they're still writing it.
I'm looking at the dates they have published for them.
Right.
It's entirely possible that no, but
yeah.
I don't know. Also, they're filming Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania already. Like that's filming.
Yeah, so I imagine that might come before. Because Black Panthers, they're not filming; they're just still writing. So, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know. We'll see.
Oh, I watched Ant-Man 2 again the other day. That was another one I watched.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah, I think it was after we watched. It was after WandaVision. I wanted to watch that movie again. It still holds up, still good.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
They're scheduled to begin filming on Black Panther 2 in June or July.
oh, okay, gotcha. So I guess that would be enough time.
Yeah, looking here,
Um,
expected to begin June or July 2021.
yeah.
Take about 6 months. So there's,
Hmm.
you can do it. It can be
Yeah.
done.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so we'll see how that turns out.
Yeah.
What
I
happens
I
there?
remember reading the writer was saying how difficult it was writing it without Chadwick Boseman, and apparently like it's all over the script
Yeah,
is missing. And I imagine that will be a big part of the next movie's tackling that. Of you know, moving on in the Marvel universe without someone like that in it. It's you know, how can you do that?
yeah,
So yeah, that's probably the most I'm looking forward to the most out of those. That and Doctor Strange, I guess, next year.
fair.
Um, yeah, but actually, now that I think about Ant-Man as well, like they're all. Oh, so sorry. We can go on and on about Marvel. Yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah, no, gonna
Um,
be good. Gonna be good. Excited.
yeah.
Um, they also Luca, which is the next Pixar movie,
Okay.
is now a Disney Plus exclusive. Coming
Okay.
out June 18th. They took that one out of theaters. Which
Hmm.
I get, but also I don't like. I hate that they keep pulling Pixar movies. Like they did the same thing with Soul,
Yeah.
and I you know.
Hmm.
eh,
Yeah.
if I was those guys, I'd be like, man, what the hell? Why do you keep yanking our stuff out of theaters?
Right.
But not your own. The Disney animation
Hmm.
studios, well, those get full release. But Pixar animated movies, we can stick them on Disney Plus.
Which is weird.
Yeah, I don't like it.
I mean, in my head, I always put Pixar's movies animation above Disney's,
And that's
even though
fair.
Disney has some fantastic ones, you
Yeah.
know. Um, but in my head, I'm thinking like the same guys who did Coco, right, are doing the Luca. Did I read that right? Or
Yes, I think so.
okay, yeah, like Coco was fucking amazing. That was one of the best Pixar movies ever.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. So, okay. Yeah, I'm
But
looking at the trailer now. Yeah. See, that's dumb.
yeah,
I mean, good for kids, I guess. You can watch it at home, but that's
I
so
guess
far out. Oh, go
yeah.
ahead.
I mean, I guess maybe that's the idea is that it's a way to keep kids home and safe and all that. But
Hmm. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't dig
Yeah.
it. But
Yeah. I'm with you.
anyway, they moved Tree Guy again. It got moved to August 13th. They moved The King's Man again.
Oh, that movie never came out?
No,
I always thought that movie came out 2 or 3 years ago.
nope, never came out yet.
What?
Yep,
Wow.
it
Okay.
was supposed to be last year, and then they delayed it, delayed it, delayed it, delayed it. Now they've delayed it again. Yeah, The King's
Okay.
Man comes out December 22nd, and they've
Okay.
moved Death on the Nile again, to February 11th.
That never came out?
Nope.
That's right. I guess 2020 really did just push everything.
Yeah,
That makes sense, I guess.
but it was yeah. So they've got all kinds of they've moved a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
so that was Disney's day. That
Yeah.
was Disney's week, and then Warner Brothers has had a week.
Hmm.
They added Pierce Brosnan to the cast of Black Adam. He's going to be Dr. Fate.
That's perfect.
That's a fabulous casting choice. I approve.
Hmm. Oh, yeah.
That's
I don't, I've only seen a little bit of Doctor Fate in a couple of things, but Pierce Brosnan, amazing actor.
yeah,
I don't. That's perfect.
yeah. Um,
Yeah.
on the flip side of that coin, Helen Mirren was added to the cast of Shazam 2. It's the actual title is what? Shazam: Fury of the Gods, I think.
Mm.
And she was
So,
cast as Hespera, which does not have a direct DC analog.
Okay. So, okay, I keep getting these confused. So, Shazam 2, Black Adam. I hope that the next one in these series is Shazam versus Black Adam.
Probably.
I mean, like Godzilla versus King Kong. That would be perfect.
Yeah.
And like, didn't they say they were going to change Black Adam to make him more of to emphasize the hero part of anti-hero?
Something like
they
that.
weren't making him like a complete and utter villain.
Right.
That he was going to be more like a Magneto in the newer X-Men movies, right? Where he hasn't completely gone bad yet.
Yeah.
You get why he's upset and why he's the way he is, but he's not fully evil. I hope they lean on that because I like The Rock's too big of a star. I want him to in the future mesh with a lot of the other characters and not be the bad guy. This has me wondering, like, okay, so we're gonna get into the Snyder stuff in a little bit. The Snyderverse, is it over? Is it not over? Are we getting a Wonder Woman?
No, it's
over, but we're not getting a new Wonder Woman movie?
We are, but it's not
that's
going
in the
to
Snyderverse.
Yeah, but it's not going to carry his vision. No. Ignore the Snyder Cut is not going to be considered canon going forward.
Right, but so we still are going to see the same actors for Aquaman, for Wonder Woman, for Flash. Is that right?
Yes.
It's going to be set in that same universe as the theater cut, right?
Yes.
And they did kind of end on the same notes, sort of.
No.
Well, sort of. Remove the epilogue.
Fair.
That entire thing. They still kind of ended with the same result of Earth being the Justice League coming together and Steppenwolf being defeated. That still happened in both. I haven't seen the original in a long time.
Yeah.
The new one's fresh. But, okay, so that scene where they're all standing together and they're all next to each other, which I guess, did that happen in the original? Probably not.
It did. It didn't look exactly the same, but yeah, it did.
Right there, that cut off. Everything moving forward, those characters are still in play. Steppenwolf is not. Obviously, Darkseid is coming at some point. It almost ends like Avengers ended, right? Like it's almost weirdly the same exact story.
Right, except that Henry Cavill's not going to play Superman again, Ben Affleck is not going to be Batman again, and The Flash is going to rewrite all of the continuity, so none of this is going to matter.
Right. Okay. So So that's where I was leading this.
Yeah.
So that Flash is going to reboot stuff, so that we can have a new Superman, we can have a new Batman, actors, and it won't really matter, even though they could have just casted new people. Henry Cavill, that sucks. I would still like to see him doing Superman.
I would too, because he was fantastic.
He was fantastic, and I know we're getting a new Superman movie. I don't know if that Superman's going to be Clark Kent. I doubt it. But even if it was, it sucks to see Henry Cavill go, because as much as I wasn't a fan of the movies, he was not the problem whatsoever with them.
Right.
It was the writing and everything else around it. So, but he, and especially over the years, have totally grown on me, seeing what he's done in other movies and everything else, and like him just as a genuine person. Like, I don't want to see him leave. Ben Affleck, I understand he just wanted to get out, so I get that. Batman. There's been so many Batmans. It's totally understandable if they just casted someone else anyway. So we're getting to the part with Spider-Man now too. But yeah. So okay. So that's what I was curious about. All right. So moving forward, the Snyder's verse is not going to be a part of it.
Right.
And we're going in a different direction, and I'm excited for that. I wish they would clarify. Like, Marvel does this great. They come out, hey, here's our vision for the next phase. Here's some teases for it. It's so clear. It's so transparent. This is where we're going with it, and we want you to come with us. Where Warner Brothers, clearly, there's no direction.
Right.
It's missing direction. It's missing a Kevin Feige. They desperately need that. I don't know when we're going to get a Comic-Con again. They need some event where they're just like, here's the plan. Instead of just throwing everything at the wall, we're going to move forward doing this. Kind of like how they did when they started the Zack Snyderverse. They had some sort of direction. They were like, here's the plan. We have these characters. We're going to make these movies, and this is the plan. Even though it didn't really work out, I still want something like that because maybe we'll get that when the Flash comes out. They'll have like, okay, Flashpoint's happening, and we have an idea of what's going to happen after that.
I doubt it.
I hope, but you're right. Anyway, so where were we?
Talking about where were we? Shazam 2.
Oh, yeah. Shazam 2.
Yeah. And here's something else. We got a writer for the Zatanna film.
Oh, okay, cool.
Emerald Fennell, who wrote and directed Promising Young Woman, is going to write the film.
Cool.
So I'm excited about that because I really, really enjoyed Promising Young Woman. I thought it was fantastic.
Well, Zatanna, like, she kind of falls into the dark Justice League part of the universe.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of this, like we just talked about Shazam, Dr. Fate, like, maybe that's what they're doing. Maybe they're just doing solo films, and eventually they all meet up together. Who knows?
Yeah. I'm not holding my breath.
Yeah. Zatanna's awesome, though.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
But, so we're going to have all that. They're already releasing a new version of the Snyder Cut. It kills me. It's just black and white. They were like, but why not? You know, they've got their own service. They might as well use it.
I hear they're going to do a silence film version of it where there will be no voice coming out of the actors, and it will just have old-timey music behind it.
Look, there are worse ideas, honestly, and it will still be better than the theatrical version.
And yeah, exactly. And I'm joking, but why not? It doesn't. I imagine it doesn't take that much work to adjust his scale to make it all gray. So, yeah. Hey, it's there. It's an option. So
yeah,
why not?
Yes, and it actually has its own official subtitle. It's called "Justice is Gray," and I was like, you guys are just a meme now. Like, you kind of were to begin with, but now you've leaned too hard into it. Like, it's too much. This is called too far.
I saw, actually, I don't know if you saw this recently. Zack Snyder popped into, they were doing, some YouTubers were doing a live stream to raise money for suicide awareness. But the people in question are not people Zack Snyder wanted to be associated with. Apparently there's this channel out there. I won't name them just because I don't want to be involved in any of that.
Okay.
But in one of their streams, the things they said were extremely offensive towards Asian people. Chinese particular said they wanted to line them up on a wall, and I won't get into anything else. And of course, everything that's happened recently, it's in terrible it's not just terrible taste. It is gross. It is beyond disgusting. And this isn't something they got from a clip from a week ago. I'm sorry, from a year ago or 6 years ago, or even if that would matter. This was like now. And of course, he came into the live stream and he said, hey, we've talked about this, and we even discussed this before you guys did the stream. I have no association with that group of people. I never will have any association with that group of people. I disavow anything that they are talking about. He goes, I also, because he says he does have, I don't know Zack Snyder's family situation. I know his daughter committed suicide. He said he has Asian children, and how just offensive that is, to hear that they would say that in a video. So, like, I don't know what's going on with Zack Snyder, because obviously when everyone was talking about the Snyder Cut, there was a lot of bad actors in that group of people that wanted his cut made, not for the right reasons. You know what I mean?
Right.
I like that he got his cut. It sucks what happened to him. Obviously, it sucks what happens with his family and whatnot. But I'm talking about like the business with Warner Brothers and whatnot. He got a raw deal because of the terrible fucking situation that happened. But a lot of the people around it were just disgusting, vile people. Like they were latching onto it for all of the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
And it's what turned me again. I know I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I know it turned you away from it too. It just felt gross, the whole thing.
Yeah.
It turned me around a little bit when I saw the right reasons. I was like, okay, well, hey, why not? But I don't know if he has like I don't know if he's just uh, oblivious to those kind of things, and then once it does happen, he's like, wait, who are these people? I want nothing to do with them. Or if he was just didn't care until it got to that point, if that makes sense.
I think it's just a lack of vetting. Like I don't think it happens to him intentionally. I don't think it's
Right.
I don't think it's like, well, I'm doing this, but I think it's really just like, hey, these guys are doing a stream for this thing. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then, come to find out, oh, no, they're shitty, terrible, awful people.
Right.
Like I feel like that's what's happening.
Yeah, and I know I was doing a lot of talking around it because I don't want to give them any attention. But yeah, dude, it felt gross. And you can see it in the live stream because I saw the clip on another channel, and you could just tell like he was just like didn't want to be there. He's like, I'm glad you guys raised money, but I have no association with them. I never have. Don't want anything to do with them. And please take their name off of this because the video of those people were just going viral, and it's all that the comics gate and just all that gross shit.
Oh, God. Can that stuff just... oh, fuck.
Yeah.
No.
And I hope that gives you a hint of who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And it's just these people are profiting off of negativity, and then all their videos are completely negative. And anyway, so seeing Zack Snyder's response to that, I was like, oh, that's good. Like, good for him. Like, I'm glad that he is publicly, and that was the first thing he said at the gate was like, look, I want nothing to do with them. What they said is beyond offensive, and we've no place for that here. And wanted to like give the right message for this kind of movie. So, anyway, yeah. So I don't know. I went into all that, but oh yeah, the Zack Snyder cut and whatnot. But anyway, I thought that was good for him to say that. So, man, we keep tiptoeing around it. We'll talk about later the Zack Snyder stuff because I'm just curious where that all goes. But anyway, we'll move on with the news. We'll talk about Snyder Cut in a little bit.
Yeah, because it's a lot. Like there was a lot to it, but
right.
we'll come back to that when we get into reviews here towards the end. But in other news, the live action theatrical Resident Evil movie coming out, not to be confused with the animated Netflix Resident Evil movie, got a title and a brief-ish synopsis finally. It's called Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City, and it's going to cover the first and second game. So...
Now, is this going to be a part of the same Resident Evil?
Nope.
So none of those people are attached?
Nope. Reboot.
Oh, thank God.
Right.
Okay. So this might actually be interesting. Okay. Cool. Let me see who's behind this.
Yeah. It's I don't remember offhand because it's not anybody I immediately recognized.
Yeah, no one I recognize. Directed by Joanne Roberts. That directed 47 Meters Down. The film starred Mary Moore. Ooh, I don't know. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm okay with this. I like looking at this and going, I don't know these people.
Strangers.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. I remember that movie. That was freaky.
But
cool.
So that's a thing that's going to happen. So it's like, all right. And it comes out September 3rd, so the turnaround on this was hella fast.
Yeah.
Like they're like, cool, we're done shooting. Awesome. When does it come out? In 6 months.
Hey,
all
that's
right.
right around the time of... That's right after the game, right?
It's something like that, yeah.
I think like June or July is when the game comes out, so that's kind of perfect timing.
Yeah. And in some news I didn't know I needed, but I'm glad I did. Pat Casey and Josh Miller, who were the writers on the Sonic the Hedgehog film, which actually turned out to be good, much to everyone's surprise.
So that was something I did do. I actually watched that.
Yeah, what'd you think?
Yeah, I thought it was good.
Yeah, see? Like, trust me, nobody was more surprised than I was, because I was like, it's going to be awful. It's a video game movie. It's going to be terrible. Like, Jim Carrey will be good, but everything else will be crap. No, everything was good.
Yeah,
I was
especially
very
Jim
excited.
Carrey. I was surprised. I it was great.
Well, because he went back to being funny.
Yeah, are you throwing it in my face that I'm an orphan? Like little things like that.
But I thought that's how you like your coffee. Yes, that's how I like them.
Right,
he
right.
he was given free reign to be Jim Carrey, and it
Oh yeah.
worked, and it was great. And the writers liked it so much, they said, "Hey, we want to do a third Ace Ventura movie with you." And he said, "Okay." So that's a thing that's happening now.
Cool.
I mean, why not? Jim is always going to be Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
Like, it's not, these are characters that he can revisit however often he wants, and it still works. The same cannot be said for like Mike Myers and Dana Carvey. Have you seen the Wayne's World Uber Eats ad?
I have, and it's just kind of sad.
It's sad. Like, I'm sorry, I love both of those guys to death, but they can't be those characters anymore.
Yeah.
It doesn't fit. Like, those guys still being those guys, 30, 40 years later, it doesn't work. It just doesn't. And it looks bad.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. But Ace Ventura, yes, he can continue to be goofy and kooky into his old age, because that doesn't hinge on age. Like, that's not age reliant. He's not going to grow out of that because he was already an adult when that started.
Oh yeah, and I imagine this will be geared towards kids anyway.
Oh, sure.
Like the cartoon and whatnot. But yeah, dude, hell yeah, absolutely. Amazon's got the money to do that. Why not?
Yep.
Yeah.
But so a brief little bit of TV news. The What We Do in the Shadows series, which was a spin-off from the movie, is getting its own spin-off series.
Oh my god.
Which is, that's not the most...
Have you seen the show?
I haven't, but I have heard it is very, very good.
Oh, they're Council of Vampires. It's so perfect.
Okay.
I kind of want to spoil it, but I don't, if you're actually going to watch it.
Yeah, I do plan to. I genuinely
watch it.
do.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my god, it's so good.
But the Wellington Paranormal is going to be the name of the spinoff, and I assume that's something that if I had watched the show, I'd be like, oh, I know what that is. But it's...
I only saw the first season. Maybe, yeah, I'm not familiar with that. Oh, okay, looks like they're the police officers or whatnot. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, okay, yeah, so Wellington is where they live, so... And New Zealand, okay, so yeah, I guess it's just like that town's haunted, so it looks like the cops investigating and stuff like that. Okay.
Fair enough.
It's a way for them to branch out of just the vampires. Okay, cool.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But so that's gonna be a thing.
Yeah.
But I'm okay with that. More Taika Waititi projects, good for him. Like, I'm down.
Oh yeah.
But so that was really all the TV news I could rustle up, because there wasn't, like I said, there wasn't a whole lot. But
yeah.
But we've got one thing of video game news, but it's a big thing of video game news.
Okay.
Sony bought Evo.
Right.
That's insane to me.
That's massive.
And there's also, that throws into question a lot of, well, are they still going to have Smash at Evo?
Yes.
Because it's a first-party exclusive. And Nintendo...
Well, no, they already came out, right?
No, Nintendo said they are going to evaluate going forward.
Well,
so that they don't...
From what I understand, Sony has already said their plans on not changing anything to do with... They're, of course, allowing all of these other games to
right.
be played.
Sony has said, we don't care, do your thing.
Yeah.
They didn't say anything otherwise, but Nintendo came out with a statement saying they're evaluating this situation.
Oh, that would be lame if they
so
don't do it.
They may not. They may look at it and say, you know what?
Well, that's dumb.
I agree, but I
Evo's too big to...
That's my thing.
Yeah, it's established.
Yeah.
But of course, knowing Nintendo, they're going to want to do their own wet fart version of it, and it will peter out in 6 months.
Yeah, well, didn't they try that at one
They
point? That's
already
exactly
tried
what
this.
happened.
Yeah, they already tried this. Uh, hey, if you wanted Evo, you could have bought it too, Nintendo. you know, um, it, it, yeah. So I don't know. This is them. These kind of you got to think about it, like these kind of things right now are not doing good. These kind of events and whatnot, right? Like
Yeah.
slowly and surely, every Comic Con on the planet just isn't happening, right? It's now gone back to just a few Comic Cons a year. Same with these fighting games. It's like they just not happening anymore. These events are not happening anymore. So, I mean, was there one this year that was welcome to the public?
I don't think so. No.
Yeah, I don't. So it needs big money behind it. So Sony has that. Hopefully, it doesn't get to the point where they're just like, "Oh, we're not doing it anymore."
Well, there
And
was.
then
I mean,
goes,
there wasn't an Evo at all this year because of the all the sexual misconduct that went on.
That's right. See,
Yeah.
that's just a world that I don't know much about. But I do remember hearing all the.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
CEO was accused of all kinds of stuff, and so they've had
The
investigations and
CEO
one.
of Evo?
Yes,
Oh, I didn't
yes.
know that. I thought
What
it
was
was
his
like some
name?
Smash players.
No, no, no. Oh, but I mean, there's that too. But I mean, that's every week.
Right.
There's somebody.
Jesus.
There's a new streamer or a new esports gamer, and but no, this was oh hell, what was it? Give me a second. I'll remember the guy's name. Joey Cooler, I think, something like that.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something gross. Like, never
No.
mind. I just thought you'd have a gross name, but okay. Joey Cooler's not that bad, but
Yeah, no, he
gross person.
because they let him go. Like they were like,
Jesus.
so they were restructuring and reevaluating, and they canceled. Like it was going to be a physical show, and then of course COVID, so it moved to being a virtual show, and then this happened like
Yeah.
right before all this was supposed to start, and they just said, okay, so this is just not happening this year.
Yeah. So no wonder Sony is like, yep, we're taking this, gutting it, and putting hopefully responsible people in charge.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I mean, hey, as long as they, as long as they still have the same games, if they put the Smash and all, it's gonna suck if they do start prioritizing Sony games, and like slowly the other ones go down the list that aren't associated with Sony. But yeah, we'll see.
Just to give you a rundown of how this all looks, and I don't know how this shakes out with companies like Bandai Namco and everything that had pulled from the 2020 event because of all that stuff. The lineups for the 2019 Evo tournament, your games were Street Fighter V Arcade, Tekken 7, Smash Ultimate, MK11, Soul Calibur 6. There was something I've never heard of, Under Night In Birth EXE, never heard of that. Dragon Ball Fighters, Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle, and Samurai Showdown. That was the game lineup in 2019. In 2021, the currently announced lineup, I'll say it that way, in case things change, Guilty Gear Strive, MK11 Ultimate, Street Fighter V Champion Edition, and Tekken 7.
Oh yeah, so
That's
Smash
your
Bros.
lot.
And all that missing, yeah.
Smash is not there, Fighters is not there, Samurai Showdown's not there, Blaze Blue's not there. That's a lot gone. But again, this may be something that it's just a rocky year and things are weird and it gets back to normal again. They work out deals. Because, like I said, Sony came out and just said, no, look, we're not making this a Sony exclusive branded tournament. But so we'll see what happens over the next couple years with this.
The only name that I know from that is that Sonic's Fox guy. He's not a creep, is he? He wasn't one of the people that were outed? Was he?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, good. Because he seemed like a cool kid.
Yeah, that's definitely one of those where I would be like, God, man, really?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I mean, I get it. He's a furry, and that's enough to turn some people off just by itself.
Right.
Don't bother me any. I give a shit. But
Right.
like because he had one of those moments, and it's such a
Hey, it made him stand out. Like,
yeah. But
you know,
it's such a goofy nerd moment to get hyped about
yes.
when the one I forget, it was a Smash tournament I think a couple of years ago,
Mm-hmm.
because he always has the hat. He always
Yeah.
has the hat with the ears. And it was that thing of just like he's in the middle of this match and he's down, and they're getting ready to start another match, and the hat comes off.
Yeah.
And it's not a thing that, like, it's something that everybody was like, we didn't know there was anything under that hat. Like, you just you literally never saw him without it. And
Oh, wow.
everybody lost their shit. Even the guys on commentary
Oh, wow.
had lost it. And it was, it's cheesy and it's corny as hell. And
Yeah.
but it's in that moment, if you follow that at all, it was one of those things where everybody was like, oh, okay. Oh, we're doing this now. All right.
Oh, yeah.
And I know it's such a dorky kind of moment, but I loved it, and it was it was hilarious. It was so good.
Yeah.
But there's Evo. I always forget that it's a thing until it comes around, and then I get excited about it because I love the drama. I love it's the same reason I watch the playoffs in any sport. I don't follow most sports at all, but I am happy to get swept up in playoff drama because it's always entertaining. It's always fun. And it's, Evo's the same way. Where it's like, I can't tell you what happens in group. I can't tell you what happens in any of the, like, qualifying pools. But as soon as we start getting down to it, then I'm tuning in. Like, it's because it's so fun. It's hype as hell, and I enjoy it. It's the same, it's the same reason I watch like NFL playoffs or the World Cup or anything. It's like I love the drama. I just do.
There was a video IGN posted, and I've never seen this before, but apparently it's huge in the Evo world, the fighting world. It was from I don't know what year. This must have been like 2005, 2006. It was a Street Fighter fight. And I think that, I'm looking it up here. It was Diago versus defeats Justin. And it was Street Fighter. And apparently, like, they explained it really well. I just kind of forgot. But it was Chun-Li, and he had Ryu or something that.
Is this, what is it, Evo Moment 43, I think?
Something like that, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. God, because it's, again, this is one he had to, because he couldn't block the way the mechanic worked. He had to parry, which was different. And I encourage everyone look this up because they explain the hell out of it. But
there was like 17 parries in a row, perfectly done.
Yes, and
which
then
is like impossible apparently.
It's like it takes frame perfect precision, and then counters, and then follows up, and comes back and wins. And it is just ridiculous, and it's nothing but high drama for the sake of why. But anybody, if you've ever been in an arcade and stood around somebody or a pair of people playing of an arcade game and been one of those people just invested in this for no reason that you can explain, this is because that moment, I'm pretty sure it's moment 43 is what they call it.
37, yeah.
37. Thank you.
Yeah, and it's seeing the IGN video, it made me think in my head, this is why it's a sport.
Yes.
Because it's so translatable to like anything else in sports when like you don't think anything could happen. I'm a Packers fan. I know you don't like the Packers, but you remember, everyone remember when Aaron Rodgers threw that touchdown pass like 4 or 5 years ago. It was impossible to get. They were down. They were in the end zone. They caught it. It was a touchdown. And that played on for like the next couple of years in replays, right? Like it's those impossible moments where they make it possible, right? And same with anything in sports. Baseball, you're down, you got bases loaded. Like the moments where a miracle could happen, but you got people walking out of the stadium, and then bam, it does. That's where it's like, okay, this is a sport. Like they're what they're doing is is a sport, and so that's what my mind went to when I saw that video. The way they were talking about it, they did an easy way of explaining it too. It just like how you are with the parries and stuff. And I was like, God damn, that's awesome!
Yeah.
Like that must have been such a thrill to be that kid, to come back when like it showed the health bars too. That's the thing. He had like no health. He had nothing.
Yeah, and
then
that's why he couldn't have. I think that's why he couldn't have blocked, because chip damage was a thing.
Yeah.
And it would have. He had to do. It's that thing of just where it's like he had to be absolutely perfect, and he was. And people got, because that's when it was held. It wasn't even in a hall. Like, I mean, that looks like it was held in a rec center somewhere back then.
Yes,
and it's ridiculous. And this crowd is just going ape shit. And it's God, it's so fun.
I went to. Yeah, sorry.
But I mean, that's it. It's just, and it's so good.
The whole place lost their minds. Yeah, it's wild.
It has its own Wikipedia page. Come on.
Yeah. Yep.
This is insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's from 2004. It's from Evo 2004. And it's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. That's when I graduated, dude. It's it's wild. And now we see how far it's come. So I'm glad someone with some money behind it has it, so that they can, legitimize it to an even more. I guess everything that happened this year with sexual conduct, hopefully Sony, they're not going to play around with that kind of stuff.
No.
With who they're putting in the tournaments and whatnot.
No, hell no.
Yeah. So hopefully Nintendo and all these other companies get it together. Hey, maybe we'll see a brand new All-Stars, right? If Sony's going to get into the fighting game.
I mean, might as well.
You might as well do it. And they have the characters. That's the crazy thing. Like, Sony has the first-party games. Xbox, I'd be a little like, well, you only got a couple. But Sony now, from 4 years ago, from 6 years ago, or however many, they now have so many more. They're not cartoony like Nintendo, but dude, you could totally put them in a game together. So
yeah,
I don't know. That's cool. Well, just because of time, let's get into. Well, actually, there was one other thing before we get into the reviews. Microsoft is rumored to be purchasing Discord for $10 billion.
Yeah, sure. Because I mean, I guess why not?
The thing about Discord is, when the new systems came out, we've talked about this. I was shocked that the Discord just wasn't a part of it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because everyone is so separate now. Like, I'm mostly on my PC. I've left the PlayStation kind of behind when it comes to, because there's really, there's no. I'm not playing Destiny anymore. I'm not playing these multiplayer games. I'm not. And so, but I have a lot of friends who just strictly are on PlayStation. I kind of miss chatting with. I miss jumping into a chat with, and it sucks that I'm here playing Warcraft, and I can't jump in a group chat with my buddies who only own a PlayStation, which most people just have one console, right? It only makes sense if you put Discord on these machines if you're playing on your Xbox, if you're playing on your PC, if you're playing on your PlayStation, to just jump in and be like, hey, what's up, guys? We're all on our own channel now.
Right.
And it doesn't matter what platform you're on. I imagine with Microsoft buying it, it would only – I imagine it's going to jump onto Xbox immediately, of course. Maybe even a Switch, because Microsoft has things on there. But this is, $10 billion, dude. Star Wars was bought for $4 billion.
Yeah.
And Discord is going to be purchased for 10. That's insane. That's absolutely crazy.
What are you gonna do?
All right, man. So yeah, let's get into the reviews. So let's probably start with Falcon Winter Soldier.
Yeah, what you think?
I thought it was good. Good first start.
Yep. I like how it's kind of it's that slow dance of setting all this mess up.
Oh yeah.
But no, I'm down. I enjoyed it. I'm curious to see where, what other amends does Bucky have to make?
Yes.
That I think is the most interesting part so far of his journey, is like, what else does he need to do?
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was, man, when he was, that little old man, it just made me so sad.
Oh God, broke my heart.
It did.
Because I figured, here's Bucky just talking to somebody who's, as old as he is. So they have common interests.
That's what I thought too. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, no, that's
Hmm.
not what it was at all.
Yeah.
And so I hate that, fuck them for that. Because that hurt a lot.
It did.
But,
Yeah, he's got some red on his ledger, huh?
yeah.
Yeah. And man, yeah. The Oh, by the way, we're getting into spoilers, so if you don't want to listen, tune out. But yeah, dude, that that was rough. I also liked there was some other, like, I liked when Falcon went and tried to get the bank loan,
Yeah.
and they showed that because, like, these are things that you would this is the kind of stuff that you'd probably cut from a movie because you only have 2 hours.
Exactly.
And this is stuff that you would see in the comics when you have more than enough time to tell a story and an arc, and to show, the underlying racism and all this stuff, with just even getting a bank loan. It's like, here's Falcon. Here's the guy who literally saved the world, and he can't get a bank loan.
Yeah.
And what the blip had to, like, the way the world works now, with they had to change the rules and stuff like that, and the struggle of him, you see the tension between him and his family, how he hasn't been there, and how do they make money, how do they get money to, they don't really, and so I found all of that really fascinating. And he's kind of a reluctant hero. Like, he doesn't want. I liked his reasoning for not keeping the shield. Like, it felt like someone else's.
Yeah.
He's reluctant to take on the mantle and what that means. I like that Rhodey was in this. I like that he was like, dude, what's going on? Like, this would mean a lot to a lot of people. So I like how they set all that up, and then of course at the end, when you get that what the fuck moment, who's this clown in Captain America's outfit?
Right.
I was reading that's what, Kurt Russell's son.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that was interesting.
Very, very interesting.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to jump towards the end there. I mean, we had some other cool stuff. Leaper is back. Is that who that was from Captain America, Winter Soldier, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's back. Clearly, they did something to him to make him not a super soldier, but something's going on there. Some strength or whatever. Obviously, he's jumping all over the place. But what did you think, dude? What did you think of it?
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I really liked it overall. I loved. I'm with you. I loved the stuff they did with Falcon, where it was really what stuff they did with Sam and his family, and just like everybody, the people telling him, you missed 5 years, and it's not like you were drawing a paycheck as an Avenger before.
Right.
Like that wasn't how it worked.
Yeah.
And
before that, like you said, he's in the and before that he was in the military, so he's been gone. Yeah.
And I love that Rhodey is kind of his touchstone, for lack of a better word. Just because, not just from a racial background, but also from a service background. I love that, they're both military, and what do you do with that? It's like, are you out? Are you in? How do you translate that? What do you do with it? There are a lot of great parallels between them on every kind of level. And so I thought it was really great to have that scene towards the beginning with those two. I was like, that was awesome. Like, that was very, very cool.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I can't wait to see where all this goes. I'm curious to see, like, we know Zemo is going to be involved. That was announced ages ago. But I'm curious to see where he fits in to all this.
Yeah. They have like flag smasher group where it's like a flash mob, essentially.
That covers up crimes even though they don't know it.
Yeah, it was an odd thing, but interesting. I haven't
Yeah.
seen that, so
I don't know. I like the idea. I like the idea of, what are, it's not at all like it's topical or relevant that somebody is, using the ire of people on social media to cover up, terrible things. What's that about?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And see, Captain America is a part of the comic Marvel. I mostly read Marvel, but that's a part of the Marvel universe that I don't usually get into unless someone's like, you have to read this run, or of course if he's in the Avengers.
Right.
So a lot of these characters and stuff I'm just not really familiar with. I know that, who shows up at the end. What does he go by in the comics? He's, oh God, I forget his name. He doesn't go by Captain America.
U.S. agent.
U.S. agent, yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like super conservative. Apparently, they're making him just dumb in this one. I read, so I don't know.
And I'm okay with that. Like, I think that's that's a better compromise of just like, here's somebody who is just not fit to carry that shield. And exactly. I think that's right. the whole premise of this series is like, obviously Steve Rogers was a just this icon of doing what's right even when it was hard, and embodied all of that. There was a purity to what he was.
Oh yeah,
exactly. It wasn't perfect, but there was a commitment to character, literally to character.
Right. Being patriotic is not enough.
Right, and it doesn't right, and it doesn't always mean blindly following orders. It's more nuanced than that. But I love the guy of like, this is the guy we stuck in the suit, we gave him the shield, he's going to do what we tell him to, and that's how it's going to work.
He's a mascot now.
Yes, he's not a hero, he's a mascot.
Yeah, right.
But I loved at the end, Sam watching that, because his whole thing of donating the shield to the Smithsonian is like, this belonged to Steve. This was his. This is not mine. This belonged to one person and one person only. And then to see not just that they disagreed with him, but the disrespect.
It is.
That he's looking at this and just going, you put this on some random ass clown that you're going to trot out there. And it's what everybody worried that War Machine was going to be. It's that fear realized of like, no, this is just a yes man we stuck in this outfit, and we gave him this shield. And it's like, how fucking dare you?
Especially when Captain America himself handpicked Falcon and was like, they even have that moment in the movie where even Bucky's like, no, this is yours, you know? And then for this to happen, it's like, come on. And of course the world doesn't know that, right? Like, they don't even know. I love the line of, I hear Captain America, I hear a rumor, a conspiracy that he's in the moon. He's totally in the moon.
Yeah.
He's got to be in the moon.
It was great because I walked into work that day. I went into work last Friday, and one of the guys at work who I talked this stuff with just looks at me, just goes, he's like, hey, man, what you been up to? And I looked at him and I said, moon stuff. And it took him a second, and then he just goes, what? Aha. So we go talk. All right, let's go talk. But
and that's the thing is, like, it's not far-fetched. Like, there's a whole story about Nick Fury being on the moon and the Watchers and all that stuff. So, and of course they could totally tie it in with the Marvel stuff because of Sword and whatnot. So I imagine this might end with us getting a glimpse of a base on the moon with old man Steve Rogers. I don't know.
Stranger things have happened.
Right, exactly. But it's a really cool setup. This obviously is way more in the line of a Marvel movie than what we got with WandaVision. And so take that as you will. Some people really enjoyed the different direction of WandaVision. This feels more in in place with the movie. So this is going to be what, 6 hours? So it's going to be about 6 episodes. Do I have that right?
Eight,
6 or 8, maybe.
yeah, 6 or 8.
Yeah. So it's a really long. I mean, we're going to get a lot of. I feel like these characters are going to have so much screen time that by the time we see them in a bigger, Avengers movie somewhere down the road, it's going to like all these characters are going to mean so much more, even though they already do. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now that we're spending time with Falcon's family or Sam's family and whatnot. So I don't know. I'm excited. We got a new one this week. Got a couple more weeks of this, and then we get the Bad Batch comes out right after that.
Yep, I think so. Yeah, this runs for 6 episodes.
6 episodes, okay, dude. That's that's like 3 Captain America movies, right?
Yeah.
So this is going to be a lot of time spent with these characters, and I have a feeling watching these back to back are going to be just as good too in the future. So
yeah.
That's probably, I mean, that's what I kind of plan on doing. Like this week, I'm going to watch the first episode again and then watch the second one and so on and so forth. But yeah, dude, cool. Well, if there's nothing else, you want to get into Justice League?
I want to see something that I literally just found like 3 seconds ago. Sony Studios has announced a new movie.
Okay.
Directed by Chad Stahelski, which is a name anybody might remember because he did John Wick.
Okay.
It's a Ghost of Tsushima movie.
Ooh, there you go.
I am hella excited for this.
That's the movie you do.
I did not know that I needed this, but oh my god, do I want this now.
Hell yeah.
So I'm ridiculously excited.
Yeah.
That's, yeah, like I just saw this. Like, I was like, yeah, I don't think there's anything else there. What?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
God, that was fun as hell.
Yeah.
So, yes, looking forward to that. Be fun. But yeah, let's talk Snyder Cut.
Yeah, dude. Where do we start with that?
I am always happy to be wrong. I thought this was going to be so much worse than the original cut, and I was wrong. I'm happy to admit I was wrong. It was enjoyable. It was, dare I even say it, good. Like it really was. And I love, this was clearly meant, like, this could not have worked as a movie. This worked as this. Yes. The idea of, like, the optional miniseries. Hey, here are the chapter markers. Stop it when you want, and then come back to it. I like the way it was rolled out. I don't hate that it wasn't a mini series.
Yeah.
I like that it's structured like a mini series.
Yeah, but it's got chapters, so you can go, okay, we're pausing, or you can go, hey, that's enough for today. We can come back tomorrow.
Yeah, I like that because it also doesn't interrupt the flow. Like it works. But I loved, because I did the crazy thing. I watched the theatrical cut and then watched the Snyder Cut. Whew. And 6 hours of Justice League. But the interesting thing is, you go into it and you're like, all right, Justice League's a 2-hour movie. What did they add to it to make it a 2-hour movie? No, they scrapped everything from the theatrical cut, almost. There's 5 minutes, maybe, of that material in this movie? It is bonkers. If somebody had just said, no, we just remade it, I would have believed you. That's how absolutely different this is. It's crazy.
I remember watching the Zack Snyder's cut when we're first introduced to the Flash, and I'm like, it's been like an hour at least into the movie, and we still haven't seen the Flash. And then we do, of course. Which, by the way, is probably one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie. Oh,
him with at the dog walking agency,
with the dogs and the. That's a moment where the slow motion is perfect. The music choice is perfect. What he does in that scene is perfect.
Yeah,
that is one of the best scenes in the whole movie for me.
And none of that was in the theatrical cut.
Where that's where all of the Snyder stuff works.
Yeah.
It's just he does it for everything. But that's where it just, man, that's where it perfectly works.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, and so yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to throw you off, but that was one of my favorite scenes.
No, totally.
And I think I saw you post somewhere like it felt like 10% of the original movie was in this.
There were 5, maybe 10 minutes tops.
10 minutes, that's it. Yeah.
And it's because it's it's stuff with the fight in I don't even remember where they wind up under Gotham Harbor. There's a lot of that's used, but it's bits and pieces from the rest of the theatrical cut. And then the rest of it is all stuff that you haven't seen.
And I saw that they would reshoot scenes. Like they went and reshot exactly the same scene, but just so that Alfred would make a joke.
Yeah.
Or Bruce would make a joke.
Yeah.
Which is bonkers to me.
It is. But I'm okay with it. Like it works.
Right.
This existing as this thing that it is.
What I mean is, they took the scene that Snyder shot.
Yeah.
And then they reshot it with a joke. And that's what they put in the theater cut, right? Like,
right.
Okay, man, I misunderstood you. I thought you were saying that. I thought you were understanding me saying that they reshot it for the
no.
Snyder cut.
No, they did. Yeah. You can tell, and especially in light of what we've been learning recently with regards to Joss Whedon. It's, you look at the things that were cut. Almost everything that involved Cyborg and his father.
Yeah.
The whole Flash scene with Iris. And everything with the nanotech doctor at Star Labs. Yeah. All of that was gone. All 4 of those characters of color.
Right.
With importance. Not just, this wasn't just throwaway stuff they got rid of. It changes the arc. Cyborg's arc in particular is so radically different.
Oh yeah, Cyborg was one of the biggest victims of Whedon's cut of
no
it,
doubt.
Right? Like, he benefited the most from this. And I had my friends who, they're not nerds like us. They'll see the movies and that's it, and then they'll hear stuff.
Yeah.
And my buddy was like, wow, like, I love Cyborg. Like, where was all of this in the original movie? And then, I had explained to him what happened. And the thing I'll say about Snyder is I've never heard a bad thing from one of the people working for him. It seems like everyone genuinely likes him.
Fair.
That works for him. Because when I was reading the stories about Cyborg and whatnot, it was all about Joss Whedon being terrible.
Yeah.
But behind the scenes, all of the actors seem to loved Snyder, even though we don't agree with a lot of the decisions he makes in the movies or his vision of DC. I'm at least happy to see that he's not a bad guy behind the scenes, and that's saying a lot in Hollywood these days.
That's fair.
That he could be a terrible fucking person. Apparently, he's a fucking joy to be around. And these people really seem to enjoy shooting with him and like you said, what they got out of it originally, and then it was all fucking just pushed aside for some lame jokes so that they could cut the movie.
Right, yeah, and what did Joss, he cut all this stuff of substance, and then what does he add? The gag of Flash falling on Wonder Woman's chest. And then having to pop right back up, and that now even more problematic, given what we've come to find out about Joss.
And I don't even think the blame solely lays on Joss Whedon. It's the studio. The studio pushing the 2-hour movie, cut all this stuff out, make it work. It's just you're into editing way more, and that you love editing and all that stuff. Like, I imagine you seeing this, you had, especially back to back, seeing where they cut and just butchered it.
Well, and seeing, like, not just that, but also seeing that, like, none of this, they're 2 completely different movies.
Yes.
And
Oh
this
yeah.
that's not hyperbole at all. Usually you see a quote unquote director's cut and it's like, oh my god, it changes the whole movie. And you come away from it and you're like, did it really? But
Yeah.
this one, they are two completely different things.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And watching, it's, there's, and especially looking at the way, Snyder did his cut and everything, it's
Yeah.
coherent. And it's not if you watch the theatrical cut, one thing that now especially looks more pronounced is it feels so rushed.
Yeah.
There's not really a story. There is the
Hmm.
bare skeleton of a story, but you go from this moment to that moment to
Right.
that moment to that moment with nothing in between. It's like, oh, what happened? We gotta introduce these characters. Okay, now what? We gotta revive Superman, and now what? We gotta go fight Steppenwolf, and now what? The end.
Yeah. The
You know,
motivations and the story and all of the important things make so much more sense in the Snyder Cut.
it's genuinely so much better. And like I said, I went into this and I was not expecting to enjoy this, let alone come
Hmm.
away thinking, well, damn, I genuinely feel bad that Snyder will not get to fulfill his vision because he clearly had a plan. And
Well, I'll say this. I completely agree with you. Even though some of these choices are still fucking terrible, in my opinion, I do feel bad he wasn't able to finish his vision.
yeah, no, I agree with you. I'm not.
Yeah,
I
we'll get into the whole Lois and Batman and Superman and what he wanted to do. Have we talked about this before?
I a little bit, yeah.
It's so unlike these characters.
Yeah.
It's so agreed. I don't know. I get it. It'd be fun as like an Elseworlds thing, I guess, but it's so beyond the. I don't know. You're right. I don't want to take away from the fact that yes, it does. I completely agree with you. It sucks that he didn't get his vision, and he. God, I can't even imagine what his family was going through during this time, and clearly Warner Brothers took advantage of that and slapped Josh on it, said make it more like the Avengers, cut to make it 2 hours, and Cyborg, like you said, dude, he looked like a creep in the original. I remember him like sneaking around a park, right?
Yeah.
Like that's how he got all of his information. Was just like, oh, he was in the background the whole time, instead of like his actual story playing out. Yeah, that like you said, I remember watching this new cut and just all the stuff with Cyborg and like his family and his all that stuff. It's just so much better.
And yeah, especially like as you see him like him with the family. The watching, this he's still figuring out, who and what he is and everything, and the security camera footage he watches of this mom trying to make ends meet and everything,
Yeah.
and how that motivates him to
yeah.
see what else can he do.
Dude, that it made it like it was like this is why he's a hero.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so much better. And see, that's the things. It's like it's hard for me to explain. It's yes, he wasn't the Cyborg that I know from the comics and from especially the animated series, who is a very different character, who is bombastic and energetic and full of life. He's the complete opposite in this, but it's everything else that he still should have been in. At least it told a story that was coherent and you cared about it. Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah.
I have my issues with not Josh Whedon, with Zack Snyder's direction, but I have no problem with how he was putting it together, if that makes sense.
Agreed.
And it sucks that he wasn't able to do that. We've talked about this a million times about how his idea of these heroes are just so backwards compared to what most people who read them or like I said watch the animated series. but it's still, he should have been allowed to tell his story, which was incredibly more coherent. And this felt more like a cyborg origin film.
It did. It really
Yeah,
did.
it felt like three or four things mashed together, but it was like a big part of this was his origin story. And like, I can't even remember what happened to his dad in the original one. I remember this
He's
one
fine.
because
Nothing
there
happens
was
to
no
him.
sacrifice, nothing. Oh my god. You see, I remember watching that scene going, did he die in the original?
Nope.
I have no idea because it was so nothing in the original.
Yeah.
I only remembered one scene of his dad in the original, and that was him like coming home real fast or something. That was it.
Yeah. And then at the end, Cyborg is in Star Labs, which is running properly and functioning everything fine, with his dad figuring out more of his stuff.
Yeah, see it. Yeah, exactly. This one had way more weight to it. It was like, oh no, he literally sacrificed himself to make it so that they could track the mother cube or whatever it's called, mother box. Sorry.
Yeah. But it's so wildly different. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, and I remember seeing, I was like, wait, where's the Russian family? Thank God they removed that.
That and the like growing purple tendrils of everything, like that's gone.
Yes.
And I loved, because in the original, at the end, that axe swing when Steppenwolf swings at Cyborg connects, like that cuts into Cyborg, and it he like kind of tears him apart and stuff. Right. I loved what they changed with that.
Mm-hmm.
I loved just how wildly different that fight went. That was fun. And I love that. Just the suddenly there's Superman standing there and the axe just stops on his shoulder and he's just staring at him and he just goes, not impressed.
Yep.
I was like, oh
great.
shit. I was like, this is not gonna end well.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I remember watching this going, you know, we've read the comics. We know about mother boxes, right? Even though I just called them Mother Cube. Right. But I remember seeing this going, they're making so much more sense with this, explaining and spending time going, here's what they do. There's 3 of them. They need to find them. And like, there's so much more Wonder Woman stuff and what happened in the past.
Yeah.
And it's like, I remember seeing this for the first time. I'm just trying to think back with conversations with my friends. They're totally confused. What is a mother box? Why does he need them? What's going on? Because they didn't spend any time with it. Where this one, I felt like instead of getting a 3-minute scene, especially with Wonder Woman and Zeus and all the Green Lanterns, like it had to have been 10 minutes. It felt like in the film, where they had way more time explaining what happened in the past, and what's happening now, and he's gathering them. His whole stuff with Darkseid, where he's like, he's trying to tell him, hey, I got one. Oh, come back. Hey, I got 2. Don't come back to me unless you get a 3rd one. You're not talking to anybody. That kind of deal. It just felt way better and like you could understand it. I don't know. That stuck out with the mother boxes.
Yeah.
I think in the original, what happens? Like there was like a scene with Batman, right? Like he finds one of the one of the creatures, or there was like, it wasn't even in this movie.
That's how that movie starts. First off, the theatrical cut starts with the reshot thing of like the kids interviewing Superman for a podcast. This was the infamous like bad CG we shaved off the mustache, or we covered the mustache scene.
And it was I hate the camera from a phone.
Yes.
Vertical footage in a movie.
Yes.
This is 4:3, but that's even worse.
Yeah.
Like,
no, and that was
open a movie with that.
It's terrible. But they did that, and then it follows up with Batman in Gotham, and there's a burglar, but then here comes a parademon. And so he has to fight the parademon, and he discovers, the frequency that he can, he has a device that it can emit, and, it drives these things nuts. It's like a dog whistle for parademons. That whole thing was scrapped. The whole theatrical cut up until Wonder Woman at the bank was scrapped. None of that is in this movie. Even that was changed because she beats up some of the guys, who are religious extremists in the theatrical cut, not anti-capitalist, which makes more sense if they're just going to blow up a financial district.
Yeah.
She, in the theatrical cut, she beats them up and she takes the bomb and she throws it out the roof and it explodes and that's the end of the scene. But of course, in the Snyder cut, she beats the hell out of these guys, crashes through the roof, throws the bomb out, and then decides to explode half of the floor with her, whatever it is she does when she bangs her bracelets together. And it's like, okay, well, that's a little excessive, but all right. But
right.
I don't know. There's so much different. They are two completely different experiences.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah.
And it's, like I said, usually you see a director's cut and it's like, what did they change? Well, they added 3 seconds of footage here and they added this bit of dialogue here, which completely changes what happened in the first act. It's like, oh, okay, I didn't really get that, but all right. This is a completely different experience and better. And worth a watch. If you're not a fan of Zack Snyder's Justice League stuff and his whole DC universe stuff, it's probably not going to change your mind on anything. But it's worth a watch to see, here is somebody who had a clear idea of the story he wanted to tell. And we're not going to get a Zack Snyder's Justice League 2 and 3 like he wanted. But give him a comic book.
This would be perfect.
Yeah, give him a limited run spin-off series. And just call it Zack Snyder's Justice League. The title is right there for it. And it's like, it's a 12-issue or whatever comic that tells the story he wanted to tell.
Oh, if only Warner Brothers owned a comic book publisher.
Right?
Oh, I mean, that would be perfect.
I know.
They might have to call Marvel to do it. I don't know. But yeah, no, it's you're 100% right. And, the stuff with because they showed in the movie, they show the pregnancy test, right?
Yeah.
And the idea that Snyder wanted that when Clark died, Bruce and Lois Lane hook up and have a baby, but they don't know if it's his or if it's Clark's, which is one of the driving forces for Superman to lose it. It's all gross. I don't like any of that direction. But it works, I guess, as an Elseworlds, right?
Yeah, if you're, if that's, you're telling this story in its own little pocket continuity,
Yes.
do your thing.
Right. I'm glad they didn't go. That's what I'm saying is like, there's a disconnect with me when it's like, I'm glad he got to make his movie. It's much more a movie than anything, or, not really a movie, but you know what I mean? It's more understandable and it's good, but the direction it was going, still not a fan. I'm not a fan. I feel like Snyder would do great if he just did his own superhero movie, just nothing connected to anything, like a brand new tell a story.
Yeah.
With new characters, new whatever. He would do great with that. But yeah, so the epilogue, that's where I think it kind of dipped for me in quality.
I liked it.
What did you think of the epilogue?
I actually enjoyed the epilogue because I love that kind of Elseworld stuff. What
was happening? Was the Joker was he with them the whole time? Is he a captive?
No, I think that
he just showed up.
Yes, I think it was because it was kind of like they called him.
What?
Because Joker is still in his own way the Joker, and
but
that's
help me out. What is he doing there? I read behind the scenes that Snyder wanted an interaction between Bruce and the Joker, and I get that.
Yeah.
But
if I feel like, and this is mostly just conjecture, but I think that whatever it is that the what's left of the Justice League, the future Justice League, is looking for, whatever it is they need, they can't find. Whatever they're looking for, they don't have a way to get. But you know who would? is the Joker. Because clearly this guy who has survived in this reign of, terror, whatever is going on there, this apocalyptian reign of terror and bad Superman, Joker has still survived and is still the Joker. I think it's kind of that thing of like, we don't want to have to work with him, but we have to.
Right, so you're saying there's a MacGuffin that they need to get, only the Joker can find it, but they don't say any of that.
Yes.
What they talk about, which is interesting, is they talk about it. The whole Joker pops up whenever Mara says, "You've never loved anyone," and so then the Joker starts laughing. He's referring to both Lois and Robin. So is he talking about Batman not loving Lois? Is he not talking about Batman not loving Robin? It's the Joker, right? You don't really know what he's talking about. And he's like, how many times are you gonna? What's up?
I don't. Where did you get Lois out of that monologue?
You let her die. How many times are you gonna let her die?
That's fair. But I don't think that's because he loved her. I think it's because the Joker is aware of what Batman is trying to do.
Well, watch the scene again.
Yeah. He
starts laughing when she goes, who have you, because Aquaman's dead, and she goes, who have you ever loved? That's when he starts laughing, and that's when he starts talking about Lois and the boy Wonder.
Yeah, and his parents.
Right. So it's like, what are you getting? And then he was like, how many times are you going to send a boy to do a man's job? Basically saying, you know that you need to die in order to fix everything.
Yeah.
But what does that even mean? Why does he need to die? All of it is just, to me, it was just a mess. And my buddies in my group chat had no fucking clue. They're like, what is this?
I agree with this. I agree that this is a case of where there's nothing to... This is literally just, they wanted a scene with Batman and the Joker.
Right, it's just indulgent.
Yes.
And the movie should have ended with their superhero poses.
I would have loved a slight pinch of clarity. Because I think that would have gone a long, long way. I'm okay with you don't have to spell it out, but give me some context. I am completely with you on this.
Help me out. The scenes where... No, that was Cyborg seeing the future. Because I'm putting it together in my head. There's scenes where Cyborg sees the future when he puts the mother box, when all that happens.
Yeah.
And he sees Superman holding, which I'm assuming is Lois's charred body.
Yes.
Or is it Batman's? No, it's got to be Lois's charred body.
Yeah.
Right, and it's got Darkseid over him. So how did... I just have so many questions, and you're right, there's nothing wrong with questions. But
because
some clarity,
right? Because Snyder intended for there to be answers.
Right. I guess if the Joker hinted more at why he is needed, why Lois is the key, because they kept saying that.
Yeah.
And remember, he was like, "Well, I think there's a more sinister reason of why she's the key." So I don't know, and I don't know. There's videos out there too of like people trying to explain it, but I just didn't make any sense of it, and it was just them kind of guessing. But I liked the atmosphere. I liked like you said, the Elseworlds, but could be the future, could not be the future. I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It was garbled. It was like, wait, what's going on? I liked that we went straight from Deathstroke, like wanting to kill Batman, to now he's on the team. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the Flash. The whole ending, of course, was completely different from the theoretical version.
Yeah, it was.
And I loved that.
Yeah.
This was straight from the comics. This was the Flash messing with time, and they set it up perfectly earlier because they were like, hey, I don't really ever want to do that because things get messed up. And this is where the Flash shines. This is where that moment was made for him where, like, the mother boxes came together, Darkseid, whatever, the Earth is now going to be remade. It starts to be remade, and then he does his goes faster than whatever, and he changes it. And it's the he saves the day.
Yeah.
It's not Superman who saves the day. It's Flash.
Yep.
And that's fucking awesome. That's what you want, The Flash in the DC universe, to me, is just as important as someone like Superman. So it was cool to see that, and I'm glad that happened. And that, of course, would set up perfectly for Flashpoint or whatever they're doing with the new movie.
Yeah.
I don't even think Cyborg's going to be in the new one, right?
No, he bowed out.
Yeah, he's got a lot of problems with Warner Brothers or whatnot.
Yeah.
But
I'm with Fisher 100%. Like, I get it.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So it's I liked that. I liked that ending. Like I said, all of that. Like, I love the part where Steppenwolf at the end, where it's in slow mo and he's getting his ass kicked, and then fucking Wonder Woman comes in and just chops his head off.
Yeah, and I love the
for the Darkseid.
Yeah.
So good.
And I love it. They send him back to Darkseid, and it's just like, here, by the way, this is the guy who was trying to conquer this planet. A handful of us, we killed him. We just straight up murdered him.
He just puts his boot on top of his head. And, it was so good.
But it's the story he wanted to tell. Like it or you can like it, you can not like it. I have my issues with it. I think we both do, in terms of, like, it is still dark and gritty, and that's not what, like, I'm still tired of it. But I, as someone who can't finish stringing a whole creative project together, I genuinely weep for the fact that he had a vision. He had a clear vision of the story he wanted to tell. And not only is he not going to get to tell it, probably, but what happened to his story.
Yes.
Like, it's an absolute mess, and it makes the theatrical cut even worse now, which I didn't think was possible.
Right. Right. Dude, it showed so much more of it. It just put a spotlight on all the, those were terrible decisions. Why did they do that?
Yeah.
I hope this, and I know it does probably, it's probably already started. I hope this doesn't turn into release this version of it, or we're getting a sequel to this, right? Like, where is this going? Because we like this. What is this? Do you never say never, right? Like, we've learned to say that. This is Affleck's out, Snyder's out, Cyborg's out, right? Who's the actor who plays Cyborg again?
Ray Fisher.
Ray Fisher's out. There's no way this continues in the movie, right?
No.
There's none of this. Okay, so that's what I assumed. I don't know if Warner Brothers at all would see the response from this and go, wait a second. People seem to like this.
Yeah. No, I don't. I do not foresee that at all.
Yeah.
But
I hope at least, though, like you said, we get a comic from it, because that would be the perfect place to go, let's tell this story. I mean, it's almost Injustice, kind of, with what happens in the future stuff. It feels very much like Injustice.
Yeah.
With Superman and his turn, how many times is Superman going to turn? But yes, anyway, it felt very much like that, which was cool.
Yeah, and I'm, like I said, I think that is a way to at least give him the medium to tell this story.
Yeah.
We're never going to get everything that we want with it, but oh well. I hate it. Yeah. I do, because I like that he had, here is the plan. He had his plan for it, like it or not. And I hate that we're not going to get to see it. But I would love, give him a comic. Give him a 12-issue series to say, here's the story I was going to tell.
Yeah, put it out as a graphic novel.
I mean, it's not like, I know it's a bold choice for DC to decide to do something with an alternative future that has nothing to do with the canon. But
right,
because right now they're doing everything with a future that does have to do with canon, and it doesn't seem like anybody cares.
Well, you have Future Imperfect. You have your Deceased. What other ones?
Well, there's the Future State, right?
Future State, yeah. What did I call it?
Future Imperfect. That was a Marvel thing, wasn't it?
Right. Yeah, I'm so sorry. I've been reading so much Marvel now. I didn't even talk about it. I've got like the first 6 volumes of Dawn of X, because I finished the I went crazy. I was like, okay, I have an Amazon gift card. I'm just gonna get it and close my eyes and press buy. So I have like 6 volumes of Dawn of X that I'm gonna go through,
Dang.
which are like there's 6 issues each. Each volume was like $10, so it wasn't that bad. Um, which I mean, right now, for example, it wasn't $10. It was like $12. So, but get this, one issue of Batman is now going to be $6.
What?
One issue.
What? Are they
That's the price.
double size issues?
I don't know. I just read the Batman issues. Let's see, $6. I think it's like $5.99. Let's see. DC increases price of monthly Batman comic and others to $6.
That's insane.
Yeah. So 6 issues, and some of them have a couple extra for $12 for a volume of X-Men.
Yeah, sold.
It's a steal. Yeah. And from what I understand is that the Dawn of X, Hickman's entire run, it's obviously the comics are written by different people, and just the X-Men comic is written by him, but they all tell like a cohesive story together moving forward.
Right.
Which is why basically what they're doing is you're getting it like a month or so out from the original release of the comic, but you're getting that entire month worth of comics in one volume. So you can go, okay, I've read March, I've read June, I've read July, and you get the entire run of what's being put out that month. And it's all telling Krakoa, and all the teams are split up, and I'm like, okay, well, I'll pick up the first 6 of these, and if I don't like them, whatever. But it leads into X of Swords, so I'll see where I'm at with that if I continue with it. But I was like, that's kind of perfect. You get variety, and it's all X-Men. I love the X-Men, so. But yeah, dude, $6 for a fucking Batman comic. They're crazy. That's absolutely crazy.
Nah, not buying it. Literally, not buying it.
Yeah, no, I don't know anyone that would. God, you can go. It's just that's nuts to me. You can buy games now for $6. That is infinitely more time to play with, right? Like,
yeah,
$6 is crazy for a comic. I think they should have stopped at $3. That was the sweet spot. I think that was like even a lot. Remember they were saying like $2.99 is the line?
Yeah, and now they've doubled $6.
It. God damn. Yeah. But the problem is people love Batman. They will continue to buy Batman.
Yeah.
I think the hope was, because I think it's Batman and the Joker that are up that price. Hopefully, from what I understand, people were saying they're raising only him, so that they don't have to raise any of the other ones, because they know people will buy Batman. I hope that's true, but we'll see.
Yeah. I'm not gonna hold my breath on that one.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right.
So we'll see. I don't know. It's garbage to me. I don't know why. I don't know anyone that would buy that.
No, I'm good.
Yeah, it's gonna force people to buy the trades, or unfortunately, find other means to read it.
Yep.
And that sucks. And it also makes those apps, what, $10 a month you can read Marvel Unlimited, and they're only like 3 months behind?
Yeah.
That's a no-brainer. That's a complete no-brainer. You get $10 and you have most of Marvel's history, so you can read literally any run you want to. And it's only 3 months behind. Those comics I just talked about, because I'm a dumbass that likes the physical things, you can go read most of those X-Men books that I just talked about in that application for $10 a month, but $6 for a brand new one. It's so stupid. And anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to get on a side tangent there, but Zack Snyder's Justice League, it was pleasant. It was a good movie. It was way better than the original. Everything around it sucked. I hate what happened. I don't know. Hopefully, moving forward, we get some good movies and we get a Snyder comic book out of it.
Yeah, I think that's the best I think we could hope for out of this, and I would enjoy that. I wouldn't pay $6 an issue for that either, honestly. But
no.
It would be better than nothing. But a graphic
novel for $20 or whatever, that's fine. That's perfect. Yep, that's what they should do. But yeah, and the cool thing is it's always there. You can always revisit it if you want to. That's awesome. Now, are both versions on the WB app?
On
The
HBO Max. Yep.
HBO? Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah. So
Somebody the other day called it Hobo Max, and it just killed me.
Hobo Max. Oh my god. That's great.
But yeah, both are on there. So
I really wish they put more. They really need to merge the DC and HBO Max app.
right.
Yeah, I started watching Swamp Thing the other day. I got like an episode in, so it was okay.
Nice.
Yeah, it was okay. I'll check. I'm gonna check more of it out later, probably this weekend. But it really gave me a kick. Like, oh hey, did I see the second season of Teen Titans? I don't think I did. Or Titans.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna check them out.
Nice.
Doom Patrol. From what I understand, Cyborg is really good in Doom Patrol.
Wait, what?
Yeah, Cyborg.
He's in Doom Patrol?
Oh yeah.
I didn't know this.
Let me see here. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm going. Yeah, no, he's in it. Yep, Victor Stone.
Huh.
Yep.
I didn't know that. Oh, different guy. Okay.
Well, yeah, different actor, but it's the same character. He's Cyborg.
Gotcha.
Yep. I hear it's great. I remember watched I watched a couple episodes. Have you seen it?
Uh-uh.
Oh, dude, you gotta see. It's got Brendan Fraser. It opens up with Brendan Fraser as like not in the robot, you know.
Yeah.
And it's pretty cool.
Got Brendan Fraser, Matt Bomer, Mark Shepard. I'm looking at this cast. I'm like, hell, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, check it out, dude. I think you would actually really like it. It's on HBO Max.
Yeah, I haven't been avoiding it. I just haven't watched it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's on HBO Max.
Yeah, I've seen it on there.
Yeah. So check it out, man. You might like it.
Interesting.
Oh yeah, cool. Well, we gotta get out of here. I got to go to work. But make sure you go check out our Facebook, We Geek Podcast. YouTube, we're on We Geek Podcast. Go to any of the podcast services, the big ones. Twitter at We Geek Podcast. Send us an email, wegeekpodcast@gmail.com. And we'll be back next week, Captain.